I'm going to show you how I treated my 25-foot gooseneck with materials I had just laying around the house. If you're like me and want to protect your investment, I'm going to show you how I did it for pennies on the dollar and how to transform your trailer, not just making it more eye-appealing, but also protecting it from the elements. If this is your first time, make sure you watch the video all the way through because I give you some helpful tips and tricks if you're a first timer doing this on your own. In this video, we also go over the pros and cons of doing this on your trailer. Make sure you watch all the way through so you don't miss any of the important tips that I give you, and let's hop right into it. This is my 25-foot Elite Gooseneck trailer. And you probably can't tell, but this is a new deck that is only a handful of months old, and it already is sun faded extremely bad. And you guys all know that lumber prices just keep going up, so to replace multiple pieces of decking starts to get pretty expensive, and that's not even including the time that it takes to do it all. So the best way that I found to protect my investment, and the cheapest way possible while making it look the best, was this solution here. And what we're gonna be using today is my drain container. This right here holds all my used oil for whenever I do my maintenance on my girlfriend's car and on my Super Duty trucks that are behind me. We're gonna be recycling this today and staining our deck using our used motor oil. Now, an interesting fact is anytime that you see those lighting poles that are everywhere that connect the power from household to household, those electric poles are actually dipped in oil and put in the ground, and the oil really just keeps the wood from rotting away. So the same thing it will do for this wood. It's gonna keep it from rotting, it's gonna make it last longer, and better yet, it is free. Now, as an added touch, I am gonna be using my propane torch from Harbor Freight to burn my wood so it gives it a nice touch. More likely you can just get this whole setup from a buddy or borrow from someone, because I feel like somebody has a propane tank. Just go buy the adapter. And then we can't forget about our diesel. So people say to use a 50-50 mix, and I'm not sure if people are using clean or used oil, but in this case we're going to be using clean oil and a 50-50 mix. And I guess this is to dilute it, and the more diesel that you use, the lighter the coat is. Like, you'll be able to see more color. I'm hoping that the used motor oil doesn't darken the deck too bad and you can see the burnt wood underneath, but we're gonna figure that out. And then obviously our free oil. Let me show you how bad this deck is, and then we're gonna do a little before and after shot, and I'm hoping this turns out as good as I'm visualizing it in my head. It's a nice trailer, but just the deck gives it an old look. So I'm really hoping that this stain just updates it, because this is a 2016 trailer, so it's really not that outdated. Plus, if you ever go to like resell your stuff, people are really going to appreciate it. And I feel like the resale is going to be a lot easier when people see that you have a stained deck versus a super dried out deck. So I'm going to start off by burning the deck, and then we're going to whip our roller out and everything and go from there. So as I stated, this is an optional step. I was going for a nice burnt look because we did some patio furniture a few weeks back and I really like the look of it. It's always interesting to burn lumber because they all have their own unique patterns, so you never know what you're gonna get until you actually burn it. And just keep in mind, these have like a sap that kind of comes out of them when you burn them, so just make sure you have something nearby to put it out when that little fire starts. And burning the deck was actually a pretty quick process. I want to say it only took about 15 minutes, so honestly, not bad. All right, so that is just the burn part, and that actually looks pretty sweet. Let me show you guys more of an up-close look, because this looks really cool, actually. That is just a straight up day and night difference. That looks so cool. That dark pattern added so much of a touch. I wish we could actually just leave it like that, but I'm sure that would not last very long. So we're gonna go ahead and start applying the oil. If you guys have made it this far, let me know what you think of the trailer. And if you kind of like this burnt look, I feel like it adds a pretty nice touch. And we really didn't use that much propane. We maybe used a quarter of that bottle. Maybe I had less than half in it, and it still has a decent amount in there. The only thing I'd watch out for is don't go too far and you'll start burning your edges. This is also an old wood. This new deck here changed color instantly. I'm assuming because this is older, I kind of had to sit on some spots a little bit longer for it to really start changing its color. But just the designs on this look so cool. So let's move on to the next step and see how much darker or what it looks like after, because this is my first time doing it, so I'm in the same boat as y'all right now. So I did mislead you guys. I did end up buying a stick so I can stand up and do this from a standing position, a roller, and that little pan. So I think I was like $18 in on my total supplies. I did notice I made a very big mistake in the process of this, and I'm going to explain to you guys what I did wrong here in a minute. And I already know someone's probably going to talk about how it makes a deck slippery. There's a bunch of YouTube videos out there. You can go watch all of them. This has been done multiple times. Does it make it slippery? Probably. Is it going to make my deck last longer? Yes. So there are pros and cons to everything that you do in life. Kind of like this. I wish I would have put more diesel fuel in this to make it less dark, because I basically just wasted propane and burning it and had that pretty look go down the drain by not actually mixing my fuel properly. I thought I had it at 50-50. I'm thinking that it was a lot less than that. I'm already this far deep in. Anything looks better than the faded thing it was. So this is my first time doing it. I personally kind of like how dark it is, but I wish I would have gone much lighter and used more diesel to dilute this deck. I went back and I'm like, man, why is everyone else's so light? Well, I just didn't mix it as good as they did. But regardless, this is gonna last a lot longer. Like I said, it's not slippery. I just applied this. I'm not necessarily worried, like if I go to load a truck up on here, that I'm gonna slide off of it like it's slick ice. So one quick tip, make sure that you maybe test it on a piece of lumber, or make sure you dilute it properly. I thought I had a pretty good 50-50 mixture of my diesel and oil, but turns out I think I had a lot more oil in it than I had diesel. Regardless, this is still gonna protect my trailer. I still like the dark look over the faded color that I had, but basically I had just propane burnt it for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So kind of bummed about that. I was really hoping that that color would pop. And I'm like, man, why am I not seeing more of that wood grain finish? This is so freaking dark. Well, at that point, I was already 3/4 through the time lapse. When I look back thinking maybe it would lighten up, well, it's not gonna lighten up. It's gonna stay pretty dark. I did go back and I added a little bit more diesel for that side to dilute it a little bit. And you can tell it's a little bit lighter there, but still dark overall. So bye-bye pretty designs in wood. Hello almost black deck. And over time, this is gonna fade off. The sun is gonna fade it. It's not gonna be so bright, and this stuff needs reapplied every few months. So by then, this won't be as nearly dark as what it is now. It'll fade off. It won't be as slick. And if I want to, I can reapply another layer. But just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on that. Make sure you check your diesel ratio, maybe test it on a piece of lumber or something you have laying around before you go slabbing it all over the freaking deck like I did. Anyways, enough of me yapping. Let's finish up this deal right here and show you guys the final results. So I'm not gonna lie, rookie mistake. I was freaking bummed, but yeah, everyone makes their mistakes, and I hope that you guys can learn from mine. I'm not sure where I went wrong. If you guys want to enlighten me down below in the comments, if you've done this before, I used motor oil that was not new. Am I supposed to use new motor oil so it can be transparent, I can see underneath? Let me know down below. But we ended up just hitting this with a little brush and going through all the nooks and crannies, just making sure that we made sure every hole was filled so that there wasn't any dry spots, because with this black deck, you could see any spots that were missed with the roller. So now that we're done, I went through with a little paintbrush, touched everything up, and I'm gonna show you the final results. And I wanna give you guys an update video. So do you guys want us to wait a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months? We're gonna just do a very quick update video on this a few months from now to show you guys how this held up, if it's held up, the pros and cons, how slippery it actually is, because only time will tell if this was really worth it. Obviously, I would have been more happy to have kept the beautiful design I had previously after I'd burned it, but this is still really nice. The black and the red still flow very nicely, and now I know that this is not going to be rotting away as fast as it was before I applied my homemade DIY stain. But I'm curious to see what you guys think of the results. Do you like the black and red offset, or do you prefer a more plain style of a deck? Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. And if you guys have done this before and have had better success from it, comment down below what I should have done differently or how it went. If you've done it in the past for yourself, how long it's lasted in the comments below for those people that are watching this video trying to get more information on it. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was able to help you guys make your decision on staining your decks or other DIY projects that you had at home. So with that, we're gonna end this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.